there he is, locked and loaded. How you doing, my man? You doing good?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Still coming down from the emotional high of last night's win. That was only the third hockey game I've been to as an adult. Ironically, all of them have involved the Panthers. I went up to a Sabres game in Buffalo, and they were playing the Panthers. But that was the best. We bought last-minute tickets. They had risen a little bit, and then we managed to find them a little cheaper on another site. Seats were great. Seats were great, man. Like for 300 level tickets at a stadium.
That arena has almost everywhere is a good seat, bro.
Yeah, that was that was the first time I've ever been able to follow the puck, man. I can't see through the glass.
The way they designed that, well, they designed it to be a hockey arena, and it's impressive, dude. It really is.
Yeah. So that was great, man. Like that was really cool to see. Tkachuk is the best hockey player I've ever seen with my own eyes. That's not saying a whole lot, but he's pretty freaking good as far as I know. Clutch.
Yeah, he's a badass. Badass.
3 game winners in one series.
Yeah, cojones.
That's a closer.
It's what they needed. It's what they needed. They needed a bad mofo. Last year, I was like, yeah, Huberdeau and Barkov, they're too passive. They're too nice. You need a mother effer, and then that mother effer, it trickles down to everybody else. And so if he's willing to fight, scratch, claw, instigate, whatever it is, then everybody else better be ready to, if he's willing to dive on the floor, on the ice, to anticipate a shot and block the shot, and he's willing to sell his body out, that's, and by the way, there's no doubt, right? Toughest players in all of pro sports are hockey players, not football players.
I was just talking to Haley about it. I think hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports.
Yes, not even.
But
close.
I think hockey is the hardest sport to play.
The toughest.
Because you have to be one of the best skaters in the world, and you have to be able to handle a puck or handle a stick. So that's a lot of things that I'm physically unable to do, bro. Like I am still struggling with the concept of how you get the puck to go upper 90 like that. I guess I saw a hockey stick up close like a year ago, and I guess it's a little at an angle.
Yeah,
it's not just like a flat. Yeah, it's got a curve to it. I was like, okay, never mind. That makes perfect sense then. But I'm late to the party. But man, that was cool. I definitely, if they're appropriate, tickets are appropriate, definitely going to a final. One of the Cup final games, man.
Oh yeah, it's the Stanley Cup Finals. Yeah, that might be a little overpriced, my brother. That one, the bandwagon is on now here in South Florida. So the money is coming out.
My local team, supporting my lifelong favorite team, the Florida Panthers. Always have been.
Yep.
But I don't know. They weren't horrible. It was like it was like 170 each.
No, that's not bad. That's not bad, bro. That's not bad.
The damn Heat tickets were the 400 level, which is a bad seat.
Yes.
The 400 level at whatever the hell we're calling that stadium, that is a bad damn seat. I will never do it again. I would rather that's lower bowl or I'm staying home.
You're better off. Anyway, hockey's better live, and then all the other sports are better on television anyway. So you did the right thing. And plus, where we're at right now with basketball has grown so much in this town. Hockey's a ways away from that, but if they continue on this pace, and you have a Tkachuk here playing like this for the next couple of years, then the prices for hockey are gonna skyrocket because it'll become more of a thing for people to go to down here in South Florida. But there's no doubt, man. Toughest dudes in sports is definitely hockey players. All right, so let's get to a little Dolphins. I thought it was really interesting. Every year you see things that coaches try to add to try to get an edge in their coaching and try to make themselves better and players better and those kind of things. And one of the things you would see is cameras on the field on top of these, whatever things that are lifting them up and filming everything. And then some of the things that they've done over the years now is in individual drills, the individual person with a camera up close filming all of that. And so coaches want to get a look at all the individual stuff too up close, not just from a wide angle shot up above and all that. And so now we saw, Tua having a camera on top of on the helmet. And to me, obviously, this is another coaching tool for them. Your thoughts on how technology continues to kind of become a bigger and bigger part of practice every single day.
It's 2023. It's 2020. If you have like what damage does it do? You know what I mean?
None.
Like what does it hurt? If you have the technological capabilities and you can put the damn thing on the side of the helmet, why not? Because this way you could see. Okay, when asked, "Hey, what did you see out there?" Or if you make the wrong read, you've got the first person angle to see. Yeah, this is I saw this. I saw him starting to slide over. I saw him spying on this. Like it makes perfect sense. I don't understand why it was. You know why it was such a big deal this morning or last night whenever it came out. It was such a big deal because some of y'all let that one dude with 6,000 followers on the internet get under your skin. The TD Finstock wrote it off as some gimmick, as some unnecessary.
I see. I didn't know.
Perfectly natural thing to do. It makes perfect sense.
Was that what it is? So
that's what I saw.
I mean, yeah, I know. They've told me about that fan that does YouTube, but I mean, whatever, bro. It's a fan doing YouTube. Big deal. He has zero insight on what's going on with the team. But again, people, I don't know why they follow trolls like that, but it's kind of the way it is. But to me, I love that because people are coming back at me on DMs and stuff, and this is they were looking at it as a negative, and I didn't answer to any of it. I just let it go because to me I found it ridiculous. And so when you were just talking about, well, hey, did you make the right read? Well, normally Tua makes most of the right reads. Tua rarely throws interceptions. In fact, the way I was looking at it is it's a tool to help Tua and to help the coach. But I also think it's a tool that the coach is going to use to better his backup quarterbacks because he's gonna want them to read and react the way his starter does. Because his starter does it better than most of the people in the league. Reading, reacting, accuracy, finding the right person, all of those things. So what I loved is people thought of the worst when you're talking about the number one rated passer in the NFL. So this is just a coaching tool. And the way I looked at it is that Tua's example will be better for Skyler and for Mike White.
Look, this is the most competitive business in America, basically, like pro sport, most competitive business in America. You keep your job by having as much information as possible to make the best decision possible. Amen. Putting a camera on your quarterback's face mask, whether or not he makes right decisions or wrong decisions, having that angle only adds to the arsenal of information, the wealth of information you have at your disposal. So put shit, man. If you can, well, you can't because everybody else knocks heads and hits. So you can't put cameras on everybody's helmet. But if you could, if there were a way to, I bet you they would.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I wouldn't be surprised if DBs are next. Because kind of the way you're reading and reacting and all those kind of things, then the DB coach can kind of say, "Hey, this is what I need you to look at when you're in this spot."
Like,
and
it's a cool. So, you get to see some people. Sometimes it's hard to be able to tell from it's hard to be able to teach based on like the all 22 angle. So to be able to have that first person angle and say like this is how it's going to. This is how they set up. This is how many receivers they're going to stack. This is the routes they're going to run. Again, it can only help. Like it would be cool to get that from a DB's perspective, or even if they hire refs on the field and put a helmet or a camera on their helmet and use that practice foot. I don't know, but the depths are endless here. We'll hear from Mike about it on on Wednesday, I believe that's the next time we are allowed at practice.
Yeah, because you weren't, but because they're already asking, like if you were slacking today, you weren't allowed in practice today. Could you just tell them?
Yeah, we don't get in every day. That's training camp, bro. Dude, I got some.
Come on, bro. It's your job, dude. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like when it's open, you're there, bro. It's pretty automatic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we only get like 4 or 5. We only get like 4 or 5 practices open. Maybe like 1 a week.
Yeah, these are OTAs, guys. These are OTAs.
Training camp. It's every day.
Yeah,
training camp is every day.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not slacking. It made me nervous for like a hot second because even my editor called me on my way to breakfast on our way to breakfast this morning, and when I didn't answer, he texted me like, "Hey, are you at OTAs?" And I was like, "Shit, should I be at OTAs?"
No, he didn't know, right? Yeah,
but yeah, no, like it's we don't get to be there every day.
No,
it's okay.
Your impressions on Tua's physical presence that apparently looking a little thicker. Did you see it the same way?
Yeah, I don't. I don't name drop people I was talking to just in case. I like to play it safe, but I was with another reporter, sitting with another reporter at practice, and he asked me, "Hey man, does Tua have extra pads on?" And I was like, I don't look like it. You can tell when you got the extra pads on because it's a weird ring around your ribs. It wasn't no extra pad. It looks like he's put on a little thickness this offseason. I don't know if that is part of the jiu-jitsu training regimen. I don't know. He has been working his core. He did tell us. I think the last time we spoke to him that he has been working his core. So maybe it shows. Yeah, maybe it shows. But
well, he has to work the core because he's only still in his second year removed from the hip surgery, and then 2. You got to work your core because if you're a quarterback, bro, that's where all your power comes from when throwing. And if you want to throw at different angles or if you're a little off balance and those kind of things, that's the important part is having a strong core. So I think that's incredibly important for him. So it's not so much about punishment. It's also more about just personal strength. In order for you to excel at your position, you have to be as physically fit as possible. We were talking about this with Omar yesterday. Like Russell Wilson. Russell is like, bro, he's thick. Like he's not a tall guy, but one of the reasons why he can stay durable, it's because, brother, he's built like a freaking fire hydrant. You know what I mean? And so Tua's always had like a pretty strong lower half. And so now probably working on that midsection and then the upper body now and build it up a little bit more without losing that flexibility. I think that's a really smart thing on his part.
Like I've said, we're having a discussion, some colleagues and I, about like the era of the small quarterback. Of like, is Bryce Young the last hope of the small undersized quarterbacks? And he pointed, he's like, guys like Bryce Young, like Kyler, like Tua. I was like, Tua's short, but he's a solid 215, 220, 220 pounds. Like, it's not like Bryce Young is smaller than me. Like Bryce Young is not even 6 foot, like what, 5'10"?
No, he's like
5'10", 190 pounds.
Yeah.
Did he technically clock in at 2? Bryce Young is short and small. Kyler Young is short. Tua is short.
Kyler's thick.
Those guys are.
I'll give Kyler some credit. He has some thickness to him. Besides being impossible to catch, because he is impossible. That I was scared of Kyler Murray because I like him as a passer. I think he has it as a passer. He's got to figure everything else out. But I was terrified of him taking hits. But then I learned you can't catch him. So that's going to help him for several years. Eventually, as he gets older, then maybe he'll slow down a little bit. But my Lord, that young man, you can't catch. Holy shit.
But he is. That's got to be the most frustrating. It's like watching your favorite team play Lamar. Like it's
elusive.
Like the first 2.5 quarters, in week 2 last year for Dolphins fans watching the Ravens game. Like that was every nightmare you've ever had of playing Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Or shit, probably better yet would be what was it, week 1, 2019?
Right.
That like 50-0. That's it. That's it. They've gotten better, but like it sometimes watching those guys play your favorite team, there's just a handful of athletes that like you kind of like watch the game through your hands. Like for me, watching the Kings play the Warriors, watching Steph Curry drop fucking 50 points in Game 7, like I'm sitting on my couch like peeking every time he touched the ball because I can't. It was a gut punch every single damn dribble. Like Kyler it can be one of those guys when he's really in his groove. It's like, come on, man.
I hope he matures and figures it out because the Lord gave him the opportunity and the blessing to. Like I never thought Ryan Tannehill could ever figure it out because I think his brain is scatterbrain and he doesn't read things well when just things go awry. If it's all on script, he'll be fine as a game manager. But Kyler Murray's got it, bro. He just needs to dedicate himself to it, and he has every chance to be a good quarterback in this league, dude. Every chance to be a really good quarterback in this league. It's just really up to him. All right, A-Chain. Because I'm not going to ask you on OTAs, what's looking great, this, that, whatever, but the A-Chain kid as an athlete, what did you see out there that impressed you?
The versatility, the smoothness in which he can get in and out of his breaks as a receiver, I think was really impressive. I think we really need to start again. Wide receiver 3 is going to be more of a construct than a literal position.
I agree.
Like sometimes it'll be Durham, sometimes it'll be Barrios, sometimes it'll be Mostert, sometimes it'll be, you know what I mean? A-Chain's going to be in that conversation as a receiver. I can't really say, again, this is tiptoe season, so I got to be careful about what I can and can't disclose. But I can say he was impressive as a receiver, and I saw enough of him catching passes to say, wow, this kid is going to be something. I can't wait for the pads to come on so that, we can really tell when he gets away and when he can't.
I know that a lot of us were a little wowed with Tanner Connor last year. The raw athleticism, the raw speed that we saw. But again, key word raw. He's in for a world of hurt, I think. I hope he grew up quickly because getting higgy with it, I think was going to take. I only think one of those guys will make it. To be quite honest, the other guy either ends up on the practice squad or in somebody else's team or CFL or something. But I think, from what I saw highlights and then watching him in that TO interview, I think he's there, bro. I like him mentally and physically. I think he's in for a world of hurt in that competition. So I'm wondering, what'd you see with getting higgy with it?
I think Tanner Connor moves a little better with the ball in his hands. If I'm
I know the raw speed
honest.
is there. It's the player
I'm
worried about.
It's still really early to be able to tell guys apart, especially after just one practice we get to see.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said last time I was on the show, I'm not ready to count Tanner Connor out quite yet.
No,
that was an electric. It was an electric training camp we saw out of him last year. It just didn't translate on game day, or maybe it didn't translate on the practice field. He was hurt for a lot of the season. And there just wasn't really a path for him to get playing time with Gesicki and Smythe still on the field. And I just kind of thought about it. They don't have Shaheen's a free agent. They technically did have Shaheen last year, but he was on IR. I always forget about him, but neither here nor there. I don't think the competition is decided yet. I don't even know if anybody's got an edge in it quite yet. I just know that I think Higgins is the better, over the top receiver.
He just looks more polished is the thing. That the other kid has got ability, there's no doubt, but I didn't see a polished product there. I saw a really rough diamond Whereas for me, Higgins, he looks pretty polished. He's really mature. I really like his attitude. So I'm saying this is going to be a tough competition for Tanner in a big time way. They brought somebody in that could really take his job. That's
Yeah,
all.
it is a welcome to the league moment. You know, there's a lot of different ways to welcome somebody into the league. One of which is by bringing in direct competition right away. You can never get comfortable.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. All right, what else? Give me that stood out to you that you liked or disliked.
Uh, there's not going to be any surprises at quarterback. I can tell you, it's not going to be any surprises at quarterback.
So you're with
it.
Omar that you were unimpressed with Mike White? Is that because Omar says he was unimpressed with his arm? So I'm just wondering, is that what you're?
I'll say it this way too. I'll say it this way again. Just like Tanner Connor, I'm not going to count Skylar Thompson out.
Right.
Quite yet. I think he looked a little better that day. He looked better on Tuesday. You know, like it's hard to say now in this time of year and come training camp, like last year in training camp when we saw Skylar outperform Teddy Bridgewater day in and day out, then that's something to put some real stock into. I think he just had a better day of practice. On Tuesday, but I'm not willing to count him out yet. But the other kid, Blackman, I don't see, and I think there's one more who I keep forgetting about. But like he's not gonna make the roster. the fifth quarterback on the spring practice depth chart is not gonna make the roster. But I think it's it would be kind of interesting just to see how things play out between Skylar and Mike White. I don't think it's in the bag quite yet. The only thing Mike does have over him is he's got that in-game experience, that big number games experience. Right. So where we've seen his ability to be a gamer. We've seen that. So, but I thought it was pretty interesting. To say the least.
Did any of the young guys catch your eyes? Undrafted free agents, any of that physically? Anything catch your eye out there?
I wouldn't say no. It is technically underwear Olympics out there still, but
tell you what, Jalen Phillips looks like he's physically ready to have a hell of a season.
If these are the underwear Olympics, then Jalen Phillips wins the gold, I guess. Like the guy is already one of the bigger people I've ever been around in my life, and that's being around football players, NFL players for the past 5 years. He's just taking it to the next level. It's insane. He looks physically ready to play.
I said this already for a couple months, so it has nothing to do with the picture that came out now from him at camp. 10 plus sacks this year. It was brewing last year. You could see he was figuring it out. He was right there on several sacks. I'm telling you, this is the year he breaks out. This is the year that he busts out, and people like all around the league will start talking about Jalen Phillips being one of the better pass rushers. Watch. It's going to happen this year.
Yeah, Phillips and Holland, I think, are right on that Pro Bowl cusp.
Oh, with those two corners? Oh, my God. Javon Holland is going to have a field day with those two corners because you're going to be forced to work the middle of the field, and you're now going to play into Javon Holland's hands. So have fun with that. That's going to be a lot of fun because quarterbacks are going to be worried about going after Jalen and X. So they're going to test the third and fourth quarters, and they're going to test the linebackers, and they're going to test the safeties. And Javon Holland will not have to worry so much about the islands. So he'll just worry about the peninsula. And that's it.
I was talking to obviously I'm still friends with a lot of media and non-traditional media guys in Buffalo. I was talking to one of them the other day and said, look, man, more people need to be on board with a reality in which the Dolphins win the AFC East. Like I'm not impressed. I'm not as impressed with the Bills as I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Just
I
look
don't
how
feel,
Miami played them all 3 times this year, even completely injury riddled with the third quarterback. Come on, man. Last year was about injuries for Miami. This year, if they're healthy and the pieces they added, oh man.
like, I think that Aaron Rodgers is like Josh Allen is such a star, and Aaron Rodgers was such a massive like attention drawing decision that people are not talking about the Vic Fangio hire, the Vic Fangio addition. Like that is that's a team changing, that is a trajectory altering hire.
Yep.
Right. That is a legendary.
That gives you your balance finally, because you had some defense because Flo could coach defense, but you couldn't figure out the offense. And that, by the way, Marcel, I just want you to know, since you stepped into our world here, that's been going on for over 2 decades. Jimmy Johnson, new defense, he destroyed the offense. Wanstead, new defense, couldn't figure out the offense. That's kind of the way it is. And then, like last year, you needed the defense, but you only had offense. And that's kind of been our problem. There's never been that balance. When you had Sperano, you had that wildcat and all that, and you had a crappy offense, but you were living off of the defense. And they've never had that balance. And your point is exceptional because Mike McDaniel came in, figured out the offense. Now it was his job to go find somebody to figure out the defense. And this is the first time in years that the Dolphins have 2 competent people on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I agree. I think, look, I'm not going to say, I'm not saying the Bills are going to be a bad team or that like it's not going to be a battle
for
of course. The AFC East because of Josh Allen. Like it's why in week 3, it's why I didn't care how many players they had hurt on defense. I've said it again and again and again. It does not matter because that guy is so damn good at this game. That's what superstar quarterbacks do. Pat Mahomes can go out there with Miami Northwestern's JV team and lead a scoring drive on he's that good. Like they are that good. That's what a superstar does. And as long as they have that superstar, they're going to be in the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
But that roster construction does not look as impressive as it did a couple years ago. They've thrived on adding, second cast off vets who, maybe were overlooked, they were fired, they were cut, they were injury prone, this and that. And they made a name off of that. But as far as building a team through the draft, you look at the Bills' past few drafts, man. Like between that and the Dolphins, the Dolphins and even the Jets, it's not comparable. They're beating the Patriots just because Bill convinced is throwing names, darts at a board to draft players over the past couple of years. But like the Bills haven't been that far ahead of them. So I don't know, man. Like I'm looking forward to seeing some real football being played because there is a very real reality, very likely reality in which the Dolphins walk away with the AFC East this year.
Oh, they will.
There's enough talent. There's enough talent. I think Louis Riddick even went on Get Up or one of the shows to say it today. I don't consider Louis Riddick a BSer.
No, he's good, bro. He's one of the few guys that I actually respect and listen to and like what he has to say a lot of times. I think he's pretty damn objective actually overall. All right, what do you got going on ESPN so folks can check you out, my friend?
Oh man, I'm actually taking this weekend off. I'm gonna be completely honest. Haley's in town for the week. Little brother actually lands in about an hour and a half. Family affair, taking it light, taking it easy. Monitoring Christian Wilkins' situation, although I don't expect any development there over the next week.
Not till June, right? Not until they free up the money, anyways.
Yeah, like it's not really, monitoring. I'm on call, but I'm on call. But
what date is it? What date in June is it when that shit happens with Byron Jones? Is it on the 1st?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay. All right. So it's right around the corner. I love it. June 1st is going to be big, dude. All of Asia will be investing in crypto. And then obviously this. Hey, listen, we got to have priorities in life here, okay? Crypto is always a priority. Anyway, follow him on Twitter at Marcel_ and catch him doing his thing here with the Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins report. Marcel, as always, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
You got it. There you go. Marcel, Louis-Jacques. And when we talk about Welt and Rheaume, bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Listen, if you're dealing with the storm issues here from the last couple of weeks and you're tired of that insurance company giving you the runaround, call Welt and Rheaume, please. Free consultation. You can call them from wherever you're at. You can do it all by phone, pretty much. Maybe the only time you go to the office is to pick up a check. 954-966-4646. The consultation's completely free. Ask for Jeff. Tell him that Big O sent you. Jeff Welt, great people, man. I'm telling you, go to the website, WRFLAlaw.com. That's WRFLAlaw.com. Welt and Rheaume, FloridaLaw.com. FLALaw.com. Really easy. Welt and Rheaume, WR. Can't forget it, bro. Super easy. Call Jeff, and I'm telling you, they will take care of you. When Progressive was screwing with us, we called Welt and Rheaume, and brother, they crushed them. I'll never call the insurance company ever again. Ever. If I have an accident, something happens in my home, business, whatever, I'm going to call Welt and Rheaume first. They have their own adjusters. They send their adjusters, and then they contact the insurance company. You never have to worry about it. You'll never get a headache. You'll never get an ulcer. You'll never have to deal with any of those idiots from the insurance company. They're great at collecting your premium. They're terrible having to live up to their responsibilities to cover your costs. So call Welt and Rheaume, 954-966-4646.
This is the Big O Show.